Tangent planes and normal line. Consider the function f of xyz is equal to x square plus y square plus z square. Then the equation f of xyz is equal to 9 represents the set of all triples xyz for which f of xyz is equal to 9. That is the set of all triples xyz for which x square plus y square plus z square is equal to 9. And this set of triples is the sphere centered at the origin and having radius 3. We call this surface the level surface of the function f of xyz is equal to x square plus y square plus z square for the value 9. In general, suppose f of xyz is a function of 3 variables, then for a fixed constant c, the equation f of xyz is equal to c represents the set of all triples xyz for which f of xyz is equal to c, and this set gives a surface in space called the level surface of f of xyz for the value c. For example, for the function f of xyz is equal to x square plus y square plus z square, and for a positive value c, the equation f of xyz is equal to c gives the sphere centered at the origin and having radius square root of c as the level surface. Also, for the function f of xyz is equal to 5x, for the value c, f of xyz is equal to c gives x is equal to c by 5, and the level surface is a plane parallel to the yz plane. For an arbitrary function f, the level surfaces may be a surface of irregular shape. Consider the level surface f of xyz is equal to c for a function f of 3 variables and a fixed scalar c. Also suppose that the graph of the vector valued function r of t is equal to g of ti plus h of tj plus k of tk is a smooth curve on the level surface f of xyz is equal to c. Then triple g of t, h of t, k of t is a point on the level surface, so that the f image of this triple is c, so that f of triple g of t, h of t, k of t is equal to c. For example, the vector valued function r of t is equal to 4 cos ti plus 3j plus 4 sin tk, where the parameter t varies over the interval negative to 2, trace out a curve on the sphere which is the level surface given by f of xyz is equal to x square plus y square plus z square is equal to 25, and hence f of 4 cos t 4 sin t is equal to 25. The sphere shown in the figure is the level surface f of x, y, z is equal to x square plus y square plus z square is equal to 25. Graph of the vector valued function r of t is equal to 4 cos ti plus 3j plus 4 sin tk, where negative 2 less than or equal to t less than or equal to 2 is the curve shown in the figure, the red curve that lies on the sphere. For any point on that curve, the point also lies on the level surface, so that the f value of that point also will be 25. That means if triple x of t, y of t, z of t is a point on the curve, then f of x of t, y of t, z of t is equal to 25. Now, differentiating both sides of the equation f of g of t, h of t, k of t is equal to c with respect to t, we obtain d by dt of f of g of t, h of t, k of t is equal to d by dt of c. Derivative of constant is 0. Now on the left hand side we use the chain rule and get the partial derivative of f with respect to x times dg by dt plus partial derivative of f with respect to y times dh by dt plus partial derivative of f with respect to z times dx by dt is equal to 0. That is, it is the dot product of the vectors partial derivative of f with respect to xi plus partial derivative of f with respect to yj plus partial derivative of f with respect to zk with the vector dg by dt I plus dh by dtj plus dk by dtk, that is grad f dot dr by dt. We remark that the above equation says that the vector grad f at the point p naught on the curve on the level surface f of xyz is equal to c is perpendicular to the curve's velocity vector at p naught.
In the figure, the sphere is the level surface f of xyz is equal to x square plus y square plus z square is equal to 25.
And this red curve
Is the curve corresponding to the vector valued function r of t is equal to 4 cos ti plus 3j plus 4 sin tk, where the parameter t varies over the interval -2 to 2. That is, this red curve is the graph of the vector valued function r of t, where t varies over the interval -2 to 2. We consider a point 430 on this curve, and this 430 is a point on the level surface also. Now we determine dr by dt. Dr by dt is equal to the derivative of 4 cos ti plus derivative of 3j plus derivative of 4 sin tk, where we find the derivative with respect to t. So that dr by dt is equal to -4 sin ti plus 0j plus 4 cos tk. Now at the point 430, the parameter is t is equal to 0. So putting t is equal to 0, we find that dr by dt at the point 430 is -4 sin 0 I plus 0j plus 4 cos 0k, which gives the vector 4k. That is, dr by dt at the point 430 is the vector 4k, that is indicated in blue color here. Also we find gradient of f. Gradient of f is the partial derivative of f with respect to xi plus partial derivative of f with respect to yj plus partial derivative of f with respect to zk, which gives 2xi plus 2yj plus 2zk, which when we evaluate at the point 430 by substituting x is equal to 4, y is equal to 3 and z is equal to 0 gives 8i plus 6j. That is, grad f at the point 430 is the vector 8i plus 6j. This shows that the velocity vector dr by dt is equal to 4k is orthogonal to or perpendicular to the gradient vector 8i plus 6j. This velocity vector 4k is the velocity vector at the point 430 corresponding to the curve r of t. We know that there are infinitely many curves lying on the level surface, which is the sphere here, and on all those curves that passes through 430, there will be different velocity vectors dr by dt corresponding to the another vector r of t. There will be a dr of corresponding to another vector valued function r of t, which corresponds to the curve that passes through 430, there will be another velocity vector dr by dt at the point 430. There also you can see that such velocity vectors also are orthogonal or perpendicular to the gradient vector 8i plus 6j. So all the velocity vectors corresponding to different curves that passes through the point 430, grad f evaluated at 430 is a perpendicular vector. So if we consider the tangent lines that passes through 430, velocity vectors are parallel to the tangent lines. So it follows that grad f is a vector perpendicular to each tangent line, and the collection of all tangent lines at the point 430 are members of a plane called the tangent plane, and hence the tangent plane at the point 430 on the level surface is orthogonal or perpendicular to the vector gradient of f evaluated at 430, and it is shown in the figure.
By the observation above, all the velocity vectors at the point P naught on the curve on the level surface are orthogonal to grad f at P naught. So, the curve's tangent lines all lie in the plane through P naught normal to grad f. We call this plane the tangent plane of the surface at P naught. The line through P naught perpendicular to the plane is the surface normal line at P naught. Definition follows. The tangent plane at the point P naught with coordinates triple x naught, y naught, z naught on the level surface f of x, y, z is equal to c is the plane through P naught and normal to the vector grad f evaluated at P naught. The normal line of the surface at P naught is the line through P naught and parallel to the vector grad f evaluated at P naught. We now give the equation of the tangent plane at a point P naught on the level surface. Tangent plane at the point P naught with the coordinates x naught, y naught, z naught on the level surface f of x, y, z is equal to c is the plane through P naught and normal to grad f evaluated at P naught, and it has the equation fx P naught times x minus x naught plus fy P naught times y minus y naught plus fz P naught times z minus z naught is equal to 0, where f suffix x P naught, f suffix y P naught, fz P naught are the partial derivatives of f with respect to x, y and z evaluated at the point P naught. Now we give the parametric equation representing the normal line. The normal line of the surface at the point P naught on the level surface f of x, y, z is equal to c is the line through P naught and parallel to the vector grad f evaluated at the point P naught, and it has the parametric equation x is equal to x naught plus fx P naught times t, y is equal to y naught plus fy of P naught times t, z is equal to z naught plus fz of P naught times t, where the parameter t varies over the entire real line.
Okay, consider this example. Here you can see a level surface here, okay? Level surface of the paraboloid shape, and that paraboloid is the level curve of the function f of triple xyz is equal to
x square plus y square plus z minus 9. This is the level surface corresponding to the function f for the value 0. For the value 0. And what is the function here? X square plus y square plus z minus 9. So this is the level surface. Instead of sphere, we have here paraboloid. Okay. And here 11124 is a point on that paraboloid. You can see that point here. And we are asked to find the tangent plane and normal line of the surface. You can see a plane here, a portion of the plane, normal line here. Consider another example, very similar one. How to find the angle between the surfaces? So here we need a geometrical idea. So the angle between the surfaces means the surfaces will meet at a point, and at the meeting point there will be a tangent plane to one surface and tangent plane to the other surface, and those two tangent planes will have normals. Okay, and the angle between those normal vectors is the angle between the surface. We know that the angle between the surfaces at the given point is the angle between the normals to the surfaces. So we find the normal. What is normal? Gradient of f. We find the gradient of f at one point. We find the gradient of f at the other point and find the angle between them. How to find the angle between them? We take the dot product of these two vectors. So from here we get theta is equal to cos inverse of 8 by 3 root 21. Consider another example. See, I think you are familiar with the cylinders, and this is a right circular cylinder, and the plane cuts the cylinder. You can, by looking into the figure, you can see that the intersection will be an ellipse. We are asked to find the parametric equation of the line tangent to E at the point 113. What is E? E is the ellipse. The point on the ellipse is 11113 because we are considering an ellipse in the space. You see the figure. You can see that the ellipse lies above the xy plane. Lies above the xy plane means there will be a z component. Now, in order to find the line tangent to the ellipse, what we need is the tangent line is orthogonal to both gradient of f and gradient of g at p naught. What is gradient of f? Gradient of f is the normal to the level surface given by the function f, and grad g is the normal to the level surface given by g. And if you take the cross product of those two vectors, we will get another vector, and that vector will be parallel to the tangent line.
Hence, equation of the tangent line at the point on the ellipse is obtained as follows.
Now, planes tangent to the surface z is equal to f of xy. To find an equation for the plane tangent to a surface z is equal to f of xy at a point p naught with the coordinates x naught, y naught, z naught, where z naught is equal to f of x naught, y naught, we first observe that the equation z is equal to f of xy is equivalent to f of xy minus z is equal to 0. So, if we consider a function capital f of triple xy z is equal to f of xy minus z, then our surface z is equal to f of xy is the zero level surface of the function. Zero level surface means we are considering the triples x comma y comma z, for which f of triple xy z is equal to 0. So hereinafter we consider capital F. Now what about the partial derivatives of f? F suffix x, f suffix y and f suffix z. We can see that it is f suffix x, f suffix y and a negative 1. So using the formula for the tangent plane, we get f suffix x of x naught y naught times x minus x naught plus f suffix y of x naught y naught times y minus y naught minus z minus z naught is equal to 0. This is the point where there is a difference. Earlier here it was f suffix z, but in here instead of f suffix z, here we have negative 1.
As an example, we find the plane tangent to the surface z is equal to x cos y minus y e raised to x at the point 0, 0, 0. Here we take f of xy is equal to x cos y minus y e raised to x, which is a function involving only two variables x and y. Then we evaluate the partial derivative of this f with respect to x and also with respect to y and evaluate at ordered pair 0, 0. And it can be seen that f suffix x at ordered pair 0, 0 is 1 and f suffix y at ordered pair 0, 0 is negative 1. And substituting these values of f suffix x and f suffix y in the previous equation, we get the tangent plane at origin of the surface z is equal to x cos y minus y e raised to x is 1 into x minus 0 minus 1 into y minus 0 minus z minus 0 is equal to 0, which simplifies to the equation of the plane as x minus y minus z is equal to 0. Increments and distance. We recall that if f is a function of a single variable, then the estimate how much the function f changes if we move a small distance ds from a point p naught with the coordinates x naught. See, here our domain is a subset of the set of real numbers, so the point p naught will have a coordinate x naught. The estimate how much the function f changes if we move a small distance ds from the point p naught to another point very near to it is given by df is equal to f prime of p naught times ds, where f prime of p naught is the ordinary derivative of f evaluated at the point p naught. That is, df is ordinary derivative times the increment. Now, the directional derivatives plays the role of an ordinary derivative when we want to estimate how much a function f of two or more variables changes if we move a small distance ds from a point p naught to another point nearby. Here the point p naught is a point in the domain of function f of two or more variables. If f is a function of two variables, then p naught will have a coordinate ordered pair, and if f is a function of three variables, then p naught will have the coordinate a triple. For a function of two or more variables, the estimate how much a function f changes if we move a small distance ds from a point p naught to another point very near to it is given by df is equal to grad f evaluated at p naught dot u ds. We are familiar with the grad f evaluated at p naught dot u. that is the directional derivative of f at the point p naught in the direction of the unit vector u. Okay, so here we can see that df is the directional derivative times increment ds. We once again write the same thing. Estimating the change in f in a direction u is obtained by the formula below. The formula to estimate the change in f when we move a small distance ds from a point p naught in a particular direction u is df is equal to directional derivative times distance increment, where directional derivative is grad f evaluated at p naught dot u and in distance increment is ds. As an example, we estimate how much the value of the function f of three variables x, y and z defined by x e raised to y plus yz will change if the point P moves 0.1 unit from the point P naught with the coordinates 200 straight toward the point P1 with the coordinates 4, 1, -2. We first find the directional derivative of f at p naught in the direction of the vector p naught p1. Here vector p naught p1 is the direction in which we move, and we are asked to find the change in f if we move from p naught to p1 in this direction. Here vector p naught p1 is not a unit vector, so in order to get a unit vector in that direction, we divide that vector by its magnitude and get that vector u is equal to 2 by 3i plus 1 by 3j minus 2 by 3k. Now the gradient of f at p naught can be evaluated as I plus 2j, so that the directional derivative is the dot product of this vector with the unit vector, and it is 4 by 3. So the change df in f that result from moving ds is equal to 0 point unit away from p naught in the direction of the unit vector u is approximately 4 by 3 times 0.1, which is approximately 0.13.